You're doing it again. Texting her, explaining yourself, trying to prove your worth, and with every message, every explanation, every attempt to win her back, you're broadcasting exactly why she left. Here's what nobody tells you. The moment you started chasing, you lost. But the moment you walk away, everything changes. This isn't about manipulation. This is about market value. And today, I'm breaking down the economic psychology of why walking away is the only move that actually increases your worth. Because when you understand the supply and demand principle of human attention, you'll never beg for validation again. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact psychological phases she goes through when you walk away, the 3 fatal mistakes that destroy your value, and the 5 Stoic rules that turn your absence into magnetic power. Let's talk economics, not because I want to sound smart, but because your romantic life operates on the exact same principles as any market. The law. When supply exceeds demand, value crashes. When demand exceeds supply, value skyrockets. Right now, you're flooding the market. Every text, every just checking in, every explanation of how you've changed. You're oversupplying attention to someone who isn't buying. Here's the brutal truth. She doesn't miss you because she can have you anytime she wants. You're available, predictable, safe. And in the attention economy, safe equals worthless. Think about it. When a product is everywhere, cheap, always on sale, what happens? Nobody wants it. But when something is rare, limited, hard to get, suddenly everyone's fighting for it. Your attention works the same way. Every time you reach out first, you're telling her, I'm abundant. I'm always here. I have nothing better to do than wait for your response. And her subconscious reads that as, he has no options. He needs me more than I need him. His value is low. Take Marcus. After his breakup, he sent 47 messages in 3 days, paragraphs explaining his feelings, voice notes at 2 a.m., screenshots of memories. He thought he was showing dedication. She thought he was desperate. Then he stopped. Completely. No explanation. No dramatic goodbye. No, I need space text. Just silence. Within 11 days, she reached out. Not because he played games, but because his absence created a vacuum. Suddenly, his attention had scarcity, and scarcity creates value. She went from ignoring his messages to wondering why he stopped sending them. From feeling relieved he was gone to feeling confused he wasn't chasing. From certainty she made the right choice to doubt creeping in at 2 a.m. Marcus didn't change. His value didn't suddenly increase, but her perception of his value shifted the moment he stopped being available. Seneca said, "The man who chases nothing is pursued by everything." When you stop advertising your need for her, you start advertising your completeness without her. And that's magnetic, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you genuinely are hard to get. Your attention is no longer for sale at a discount. But here's where most men fail. They understand the supply and demand principle intellectually, but they don't understand the frame battle happening underneath it, because walking away isn't just about creating scarcity. It's about who controls the frame of the entire relationship. And if you don't understand this next principle, you'll break the moment she reaches out. Stay with me. Every relationship is a frame battle, and the frame is simple. Who needs this more? When you're chasing, explaining, convincing, you're operating in her frame. You've accepted the premise that she's the prize, and you're the contestant trying to win her back. Walking away flips the frame entirely. Suddenly, you're not competing for her attention. You're withdrawing your attention. And that shift, that's where power lives. Jake spent 6 weeks trying to convince his ex he'd changed. therapy receipts, gym progress pics, new job updates. He was building a case like a lawyer presenting evidence. She was building a new life without him. Then he stopped. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, out of self-respect. He deleted her number, unfollowed her on every platform, stopped the performance, stopped trying to prove anything. 3 weeks later, she showed up at his gym, unannounced. She didn't text first, she just appeared. Not because he won her back, but because his absence communicated something his words never could. I don't need your validation to have value. She asked if they could talk. He said he was focused on his training and didn't have time that day. Not to play games, but because he genuinely was focused on his training. His life had moved forward. She was no longer the center of it. That's when she realized, he's not waiting for me anymore. And that realization triggered something primal. Fear of loss. Mistake number 1, explaining their worth. If you have to explain it, you don't have it. The moment you start listing reasons why she should choose you, you've already lost. High value doesn't need a sales pitch. Mistake number 2, negotiating for affection. Attraction isn't a debate you can win with logic. You can't convince someone to feel something. She either feels it or she doesn't. And chasing kills it. Mistake number 3, waiting for permission. Permission to move on. Permission to be happy. Permission to walk away. You don't need her approval to reclaim your life. When you walk away, you're not asking for permission. You're granting yourself freedom. And that confidence, that self-authorization, that's what she notices. Now that you understand the frame battle, you need to understand what's happening inside her mind when you walk away, because there are 4 distinct psychological phases she goes through. And if you don't know these phases, you'll break at the worst possible moment. Let me show you the timeline. Here's what happens in her mind when you actually walk away. Not as a tactic, but as a decision. This isn't theory. This is documented psychological pattern recognition across thousands of breakups. 4 phases, every single time. Phase 1, relief, days 1 to 7. She feels validated. See? He gave up. I was right to leave. He wasn't strong enough to fight for me. This is the phase where most men break. They see her thriving on social media, new profile pic, out with friends, smiling, and they panic. They think, she's already over me. I need to reach out before it's too late. Don't. This is the test. She's watching to see if you'll break. Every story she posts, it's partially for you. Every living my best life caption. It's a probe to see if you're still monitoring. Your silence during this phase is critical, because what she interprets as relief is actually just the absence of immediate discomfort. She hasn't felt your absence yet. She's just feeling the relief of not having to deal with your emotions. Phase 2, curiosity, days 8 to 21. The texts stop, the check-ins disappear, the social media views vanish. She starts wondering, is he okay? Is he seeing someone? Why isn't he fighting for me? Notice what's happening. Your absence is creating questions, and questions create mental loops. She'll check your profile multiple times a day, looking for clues. Is he posting? Who's he with? Why does he look fine? This is where the frame starts to shift. She expected you to chase. You didn't. She expected you to break. You haven't. And now her brain is trying to solve a puzzle. Why isn't he reacting the way I predicted? Here's the psychological principle at work, the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains obsess over incomplete tasks and unanswered questions. When you were chasing, the story was complete in her mind. He needs me. I don't need him. Case closed. But your silence? That's an open loop, and her brain hates open loops. It will keep circling back, trying to close it. Phase 3. Doubt. Days 22 to 45. This is where it shifts. She starts questioning her decision. Not because you're chasing, but because you're not. Your indifference suggests you've found something better. Maybe yourself, maybe someone else. Either way, she's no longer the center of your universe, and that's unsettling. She starts replaying the relationship. Was I too harsh? Did I make a mistake? What if he's actually? Here's what happens in her mind when you actually walk away, not as a ploy, but as a true decision. Phase 1. Relief, days 1 to 7. She feels validated. See? He gave up. I was right to leave. She may even feel a rush of freedom. This is where most men break. They see her posting on social, laughing, thriving, and the urge to reach out becomes overwhelming. Don't. This phase is a mirage. Her confidence is surface level. Phase 2. Curiosity. Days 8 to 21. The texts stop. The check-ins vanish. Her notifications are silent. Now she starts to wonder, is he okay? Is he seeing someone? Why isn't he fighting for me? Your absence creates questions, and questions are mental hooks. She checks your stories, maybe even asks mutual friends about you. The script in her head is no longer about her choice to leave. It's about your mysterious silence. Phase 3. Doubt, days 22 to 45. Now the doubt creeps in. She starts questioning her decision. Not because you're chasing, but because you're not. Your indifference suggests you've found something better. Maybe it's a new passion. Maybe it's a new woman. Maybe it's just you. Either way, she's no longer the center of your universe, and that unsettles her. Phase 4. Regret or acceptance. Day 45 plus. Here's where it splits. She either reaches out or she doesn't. And the Stoic truth, it doesn't matter. By now, you've rebuilt your frame. You've proved to yourself that your value isn't tied to her validation. Whether she comes back or not, you've already won. David's ex left him for another man. He didn't beg, didn't stalk her socials, didn't send the "I hope you're happy" text. He went silent, joined a boxing gym, built a side business, reconnected with old friends. 4 months later, she reached out, not because he waited, but because his life looked better without her than it ever did with her. He politely declined, not out of revenge, but because he'd genuinely moved on. That's the paradox. Walking away only works when you're not doing it to get her back. You're doing it to get yourself back. Here's your system, not tactics, principles. Rule 1. No explanation necessary. Don't send the "I need space" text. Don't explain why you're going silent. Just go. Explanations are negotiations. Silence is a statement. Rule 2. Delete the breadcrumbs. Unfollow. Mute. Remove the temptation to check her stories at 1 a.m. You can't walk away if you're digitally stalking. Cut the cord completely. Rule 3. Redirect your energy. Most men walk away physically, but stay attached mentally. Channel that energy into something real. Fitness, business, skill development. Build something she can't take from you. Rule 4. No revenge posting. Don't post gym selfies for her. Don't date someone new just to make her jealous. Live your life because it's your life, not to trigger a reaction. Authentic indifference is undefeated. Rule 5. Prepare for the reach out. She will likely reach out, and when she does, you need to have already decided, are you open to it or have you moved on? Don't decide in the moment. Decide now while you're clear-headed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Walking away isn't about controlling her response. It's about controlling your peace. When your value is internal, her absence can't diminish it, and her presence can't inflate it. That's freedom. So here's your challenge. Walk away. Not as a tactic, not as a game, but as a declaration of self-respect. Stop texting. Stop explaining. Stop performing. Build yourself into someone who doesn't need her validation to feel whole. And watch what happens. Not to her, but to you. Because here's the real secret. Whether she comes back or not, you'll be better off. That's the power of walking away. If this resonated, subscribe. We're building a system for the modern man to reclaim control, achieve indifference, and forge an unshakable inner life. Until then, stop reacting. Start building.